Welcome to the Sativa Cross Podcast. We're here every Thursday. Sorry we just got knocked off the air. We're back on now. Always something happening here on Thursdays in Trenton. Yeah, Jim, we just got knocked off. Sorry about that.
I was going to take advantage of the time to go in and pick up our physical permit for today. And there's a line at the door, though, so I'm not going to stand in line. I'm going to stand in those stinking lines to get in.
No. All right, so we're back on the air. Sorry about that. I don't know where we got knocked off, but I think during our last guest we got knocked off. Power issue. We weren't charging, apparently. It's always something stupid.
It's a work in progress. You know what today is? Today, I recounted, it turns out there's 34 Thursdays that we're scheduled to be here this year. Today is week 17. So we're halfway through the 2015 Informational Protest Podcast State House Medical Marijuana season. We'll shorten it. It's an acronym called GOBLACI. That's what this is. So it's halfway through it. It's a work in progress. You're going to get bumped off a little bit occasionally. You're using a remote camera rather than one on the computer, so you can bring things up during the podcast. We do try to change a little bit each week. But, you know, this is, we're operating on a shoestring, to say the least.
Well, did you see what's going on up in Rhode Island?
No.
With Alan Gordon and the church up there?
Yeah. Now, this, while it doesn't have anything to do with medical marijuana, it has to do with free speech, which is why we're here right now.
Well, they are cannabis users for their church of cannabis. So it is marijuana related.
Yeah, I was trying to unrelate it as best I could. You didn't work with me on it, man.
Sorry. It is
that group.
Oh, those guys.
Okay, so
we're not affiliated with those guys. They're crazier than us, man.
They make us look good.
They make me and Wayne look good. That's pretty tough. Making Wayne look good, man. Wow.
And you know, I got to say, here we are using our rights. And when somebody comes down and says, you got to turn it down, we say, okay, no, we got a right to be whatever volume because there was a goddamn band here the other day, a goddamn band here, and there was. But we know how to pick our moments. The reason we have such a good rapport with the state police here is if they came out and said, we need you to move the table 1 foot to the right, we'd say, okay. We might ask, is there a reason we need to know about why? We would never say, no, we have a right to be here, we're here last, but, you know. And, see, that's what works. And what is it that he did? You're going to cue something up and play it, but why don't you prepare us for what it is?
Well, they've been going up to this fountain.
What's their name, do you know?
Alan?
Is there a church of We Like Pot or something?
You know what? I have it here somewhere.
But they've declared this is something. They use a sacrament of sorts.
It's
or
their
part
temple.
Of their service. Okay.
This fountain, this well, is their temple. It's their sacred place.
Where is this fountain? This well?
It's in a park.
Where? What state?
In Rhode Island.
In Rhode Island.
It's Alan Gordon.
No, do you say where in Rhode Island? Because
Yeah.
it's such a small state.
Let
just
me
Rhode
find
Island.
out here.
Rhode Island will suffice. It's so small. That's like saying Tom's River here.
I believe it's Providence, Rhode Island there, and it's Alan Gordon and Ann Armstrong. You know, remember Ann? She ran for governor of Rhode Island.
I remember the name. Yeah.
Yeah. She's really cool. And
is she at these things?
Yes. They've been going at it back and forth with the
now,
police.
how long have they been doing this at this well?
A while.
A year or two?
A while. And
since last year, maybe.
Yeah.
More.
Since the cannabis has become legal.
In Rhode Island. Well, this is going back almost slightly after us.
Yeah.
Probably the next year.
So they've been...
A long time.
Yeah.
So they've been doing it this long. And when did it become an issue?
It seems...
Because you don't remember this happening 3-4 years ago.
No. They seem to want to stop them from using their cannabis.
Did Alan Gordon escalate things, or did they just decide
No,
enough is enough?
Alan would never escalate anything.
I don't know Alan.
You don't know Alan? Oh.
He's, you know, as much as I admire audacity and tenaciousness, he's never going to be invited to my barbecues.
No, invite him. Here, this is some audio from the latest thing.
Larry, unhand me.
You will not disrobe the deaconess.
You're going to be on the news doing this. You're on disrobing a deaconess of the...
Okay, wait a minute. So what happened was...
Who's the deaconess?
The deaconess is Ann Armstrong. She was wearing a burqa. And the police, two males, in this video, two male police officers are attacking and sexually assaulting Ann Armstrong.
Were they trying to take her burqa off, or was that a result of the...
They're pulling off her clothes.
Because she's struggling?
Because...
I mean, in other words, if you grab my shirt and I pulled away, you wouldn't be trying to take my shirt off. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
They were ripping her clothes off in a park.
Yeah.
Like rapists.
Was it because did she have like the burqa over her face and they wanted to
I guess so, yeah.
identify her or something? I mean, it's hard to believe.
It's shocking. This happens in America.
And she's like considered a deaconess in their gathering.
And they're attacking her and ripping her clothes off.
How many?
Two male officers, big, huge male officers, are attacking this little frail woman. Can you believe this? Here, watch this.
Clothes I'm wearing, unhand me.
You will not disrobe the deaconess. You're going to be on the news doing this. You're on disrobing a deaconess of the church.
Rape!
Guess who's on the news tonight? You better unhand the deaconess.
Look at this.
You had better unhand the deaconess.
Look, they're ripping
her
her
dress
clothes
is over there. Female officer is missing. Female officer is missing. Female officer is missing.
This is shocking.
Female officer is missing.
Two police
Sexual
are raping
assault.
this woman.
Sexual battery.
So, okay,
Look at
hold
this.
just for a second.
This is shocking.
Yeah, this again for anybody.
This is shocking.
So this was happening in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. Police are doing this to women in Rhode Island.
And it all started because they were having a ceremony at their sacred
They're having a peaceful ceremony.
that they've been having
yes,
for years.
Yes, a peaceful gathering, smoking cannabis. And the police are coming and sexually assaulting women.
What was the result
Really?
of this? What's going on since then? How long ago was this?
I just got this in my video yesterday. I just got this. Alan sent this to me yesterday. This just happened. This just happened, bro. This is shocking.
Well, then this will be on the news. He was right. Guess who's on the news tonight?
I mean, the last video, me and Wayne were like playing it. It was kind of funny. I'll play it for you. This video here, there's nothing to laugh about this. She was being attacked by these cops.
Yeah, well, there will be repercussions. I mean, we're not the only ones watching it. And this, like you say, it does rise above any margin for error.
This is shocking. I'm sorry, I didn't realize there was a little girl there, but
yeah.
I mean, this is...
He's trying to...
I know. This is...
Unhand her now.
These are your
police. Just keep it.
Now.
These are your police officers.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be loud. We can talk over it.
What are you doing? You're a madman. You've lost your mind.
Batman?
Look at the aggression.
You're a madman.
Madman. I said you're
Stop
Batman.
resisting. Yeah, put the pain lock on, and then when they squirm, say stop resisting. We've all seen that on the news.
Sounds like he's created a legitimate gripe. Now, how many times they were harassed then? Because, like you said, there was something else happened first. So they'd already been harassed.
They've been harassed. I'll find the other one.
Last week or the week before?
The other day.
But it was...
Here it is. This is it. This is the other one that he did here. This is interesting. Oh, he's blowing the shofar. He's got the stupid shofar. That's what we were laughing at. Alan Gordon is blowing the shofar. It's worse than the bagpipes. I hate this thing more than bagpipes.
That's annoying. That's not a way to get me on his side.
Alan, you need to get a real instrument.
I can do that with a 6-foot piece of 1-inch conduit.
Okay, so I don't know if you can see this, but this is the park. And there's their little ceremony. See, they have the little well that they have. And they smoke their cannabis, and there's a cop watching them at the well. And they're having some kind of ceremony.
Yahweh says, "O Israel, you have sinned."
And Anne is doing her little reading from the Bible. I mean, it's a legitimate religious ceremony. They do readings and prayers. I don't know if that's a sacrifice. I don't know what that was. It looked like a dead cat. I don't know.
To the well.
It looked like... What is that? Is that an animal? No. No, they're not doing animal sacrifices.
There's a small group of people.
Yeah, they're just chanting. They're very peaceful. They're just hanging out. They're very peaceful. and the cop is standing there watching them.
Every time you pass by
Now I'm
someone,
wondering, this is the day before
you're leaving
that cop
them
that cop did that to her.
there.
I wonder if he was
Every time
eyeing
you
her up.
turn the other way, or you follow an order that you know is wrong, or you do something wrong for a paycheck, you're the ones that are leaving him here, and I say it's time for an end to that.
She's being nice about it.
Just step down. You've followed a bad order. I'm going to have to ask you to turn your gun and your badge
Pause for a
over.
second. Pause.
In Rhode Island,
Pause,
what
'cause-
pilot was told to write here.
Or if you can.
Go ahead.
Get the producer to pause. Did the police officer do something, or did Alan just start saying, "Oh no, you're following a," because he was there? It wasn't clear what precipitated that.
I think the cops wanted them to leave. They want them to leave and go away.
Yeah, so he wasn't.
And he wasn't gonna go
grabbing her wrist or anything like that.
This is the day before.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just trying to see what's set up.
Let's see.
That is rejected by a solid majority of United States citizens. Religious right that does not come from a court,
He
does
makes it
not
funny.
come from a
This is
police
great.
officer or a Park Service agent. At the very birthplace of religious freedom, and I expect you to relieve yourself
like
of
3
duty
people.
as the German officers
takes a
should
step
have
closer, they're
prior to
10
being
feet
told that
apart.
at Nuremberg.
When we come back on our cross,
And then, so,
He brings up Nuremberg.
but at that point,
God.
the officer was, as they pointed out, doing his job and standing there.
Yeah.
He hadn't said anything to him.
No. But Alan did have the shofar, and that is pretty. You know, I would shoot Alan for that shofar. I would probably shoot him.
That was it was provocation,
Yeah.
and we don't need to do that. I mean, if that was the plan, it worked. And I'm not saying it's always a bad plan to do that. I've provoked a few times, but at that
The
point,
reason that Congress has not followed the clear wish of the United States public
God, that's so
about
far. Please, no more.
pressure
Tune it
from
down just one second.
pharmaceutical industries.
it's going to send me into
I
a
know it's horrible.
seizure
I hate.
myself. Then you're going to have to give me.
Oh God. No. Alan, please, no more shofar. Oh God.
Well, that's the woman. What's her name?
Yeah.
More enforcement is
And-
put upon those who use it with biblical authenticity.
Officer
Here at the
standing
site
there.
Of the birthplace of religious freedom.
Passive
There are those
posture.
who would use it for recreation. Sir, you are following a bad order, and you will turn in your gun and badge to your superior officer. You are following a bad order. Just following orders, they said at Nuremberg.
He's great. I'm telling you.
I've never thought about doing that, but I could almost, the officer, he should just leave and say, listen, this guy ordered me to turn my gun in.
I gotta stand down.
You know, I wasn't gonna, but they were to well. There was nothing I could do. They had an annoying instrument. He was gonna play it
Yeah,
again.
he was gonna blow the shofar again.
I decided to turn in my gun and keep that annoying noise from happening. Well, you know, of course, it's traditional street theater. Well theater.
What's this?
Regarding the tent or conundrum of privacy for personal pod
This is a different officer.
without a permit.
Barca, or
What will
They're not-
occur if you erect that again? We will have to take enforcement action. That is not permitted.
I want to. I'm not sure
I
if
want to
this-
break it down though.
Why don't they get a permit?
Yeah,
Why don't they just get a permit and do all this shofar
it's
blowing?
actually worth, because it's parallel to what we do. I mean, here we are.
Yeah, we could blow
and
shofars here.
We could do that.
Yeah, we
and if they told us to stop, we would.
Bring some shofars over. We'll blow
What do you
them.
say? Better to
Better to ask forgiveness than to ask for permission.
exactly.
That's how you get shit done.
But what happens is we came here once years ago and we're told no, you need a permit. So we didn't beg forgiveness, but we came back with a permit ever since. That may have been technically an unlawful decision. It didn't even sound like an order. He was just warning them what would happen if you do this. I'm going to have to take enforcement action. And then, you know, I mean, I tried to look at it from both sides. So to look at it from the officer's side, he was doing his job. I'm pretty sure it wasn't his decision to do that. This is his.
I was just doing my
It-
job.
it was
Show
his-
me your papers.
He was assigned that job, And he got called out on the obvious fact by Alan Gordon, and he stood there. But he was a uniformed officer. Now, what you were just showing me was the most recent development, I believe, where it was not in a patrolman's uniform. He's obviously identifiable as a policeman. And he told them that if she, was it the burqa? Is that what it's called, a burqa?
Yeah, it looked like a
No,
burqa.
no offense to anybody that thinks I should know what that is. I should. But is that what he? Was that his?
What's this?
If you choose not to leave, you will be in violation of the lawful order, and then we will then deal with that.
Okay, so they're asking her to leave. He asks her to sign the ticket.
And native.
And does she sign the ticket? Okay, she doesn't have to sign the ticket.
Ms. Armstrong, do you want to sign the violation notice or not?
She has quite clearly been cited by this point, so is free to go. Interesting.
And yet you're being charged. You're saying we've got to protect this integrity of the law. That law has no integrity. And now the third lie in that law. It's called, we don't pronounce it the M word, neener word, we call that, because that's a made-up word. It's a misspelled Mexican slang word that was invented to discredit the users of this sacrament.
See, he's right, but it's the presentation that's the problem. I mean, he has the same point of view.
Not even Mexico.
I am using this park as a public citizen now, wearing my clothes.
Oh, he pushed her on the ground. He pushed her to the ground. Oh, wow.
Unhand the deaconess. Unhand the deaconess. You will not use force on the deaconess.
Oh, wow. They touched the deaconess. How do you touch the... What are you doing? What are these cops doing?
Unhand the deaconess. Unhand the deaconess. You will not use force on the deaconess.
How dare they touch the deaconess?
Could be.
Are you, Ms. Armstrong?
What is she wearing?
Now you stand. Do you want to sign the violation notice?
As I went down to the river.
She's got her head covered by a. I mean,
She's singing. She's singing.
we'll have.
Ms. Armstrong,
You can't win this, you guys.
The violation notice.
You can't win this.
Ed Armstrong, you rock. You rock,
Are you
Ed.
going to voluntarily leave the park? Are you going to voluntarily leave the park?
You're not doing your duty. You can't win. Truth is not on your side.
Leave the park.
You're enforcing a dishonest law.
Wow. This is amazing. I can't believe that they're doing this to you guys.
At this time, we're going to issue a violation notice. After that, you will be free to leave.
I'm confused. They already ticketed her. Now they're going to ticket her again?
I've given her another back door is all he's doing. He's given her.
I'm confused.
He's given her one more chance before he's going to have to do what he said he have to do.
Ms.
And it's pretty
Armstrong, do you
clear.
want to sign the violation notice or not?
That's another lie. Because you know it's not a hallucinogen.
What is he talking about?
I think he's hallucinating.
Are you, Ms. Armstrong?
Are they tripping?
Unhand the deaconess. Unhand the deaconess.
Now you stand. Do you want to sign the violation notice?
Oh, wow. They actually did manhandle her. This is scary, what these cops are doing to these people. I mean, this is peaceful.
Truth is not on your side. You're not going to win.
Neither law. I have the right to wear whatever I want.
You're not going to win this. You can't win this. You can't win this. Yeah, we're done. We're done. Oh, you're going to...
I'm done with you.
The clothes I'm wearing.
I'm done with you.
Hand me
You will not disrobe...
Look.
Her dress is over there. Female officer is missing. Female officer is missing. Female officer is missing. Female officer
This
is
is
missing.
shocking.
Sexual assault. Sexual
These are police. These are police
You
that
will
are...
unhand her
Is that
now.
her bare
Oh,
stomach
my
showing or
God.
something?
These are police that are paid to protect you, and they're assaulting women in Rhode Island? Really?
Deaconess Ann has asked supporters to donate, not to her, but instead donate to. Okay, they're looking for donations, and you know.
Oh, my God.
Gonna need a lawyer.
Oh, my God. So...
Well, what do you think at that point? You know, if. What do you think the officer should have done at that point, as opposed to touching her to enforce the arrest that he said he
Go
would
to
do?
Dunkin' Donuts and have some coffee and donuts, maybe. That would be a better thing to do.
No, I mean, I know it would be better. You know it would be better. You know I don't disagree, but I'm looking at it from his job description, not whether he should have taken a job, he could have done anything. I understand. I agree with that. I'm playing more of a devil's advocate here, saying what should he have done at that point.
Really, what he should have done is probably shot them all and put guns in their hands.
He should have called a supervisor.
Just call the supervisor, shoot them, call the supervisor, and then cover it up like they always do.
Call a supervisor in, let the supervisor explain it, and then he can start chanting, "Don't arrest the deaconess," or whatever he wants, maybe. But there were better options on both sides. There really were.
Oh, you mean options for good things?
For good things.
Oh.
In other words, if you were the policeman, at that point, it's like
I would have shot them. If I was the cop, I would have killed them. You're saying if I was the cop, I would have shot them?
Well, you'd need a bigger fundraiser than her then to get a lawyer.
Okay, but I'm not a cop.
Yeah.
I'm just a regular person. So
Right.
I would say the cop should leave them alone and let them pray in peace. And they're not hurting anybody.
And then he's going to, just devil's advocate, he's going to certainly not advance with the department as well as other people after that because he disobeyed his order to go out and do what he needs to do.
Why would he want to advance in that department?
No, I wouldn't want to either. However, it's a job.
Mm.
I know it's an unlawful order. It's a job I would never have, and I wouldn't work in a veterinary office or a dog shelter either, because that would hurt me. I mean, there's things I wouldn't do. I certainly wouldn't be a policeman for it. Would be not in line with the way I live my life at times.
I mean, there was guys at Auschwitz, the death camp.
Yeah.
There was a couple of guys there that asked for transfers out of there because they couldn't stand working there.
How'd that work out?
They didn't transfer them. They wouldn't transfer them.
No.
You had to stay there, do the job.
Yeah. Well, once you got in, it'd be like the mafia. You know, you don't just quit.
No, you don't quit.
And with a policeman, you could. And it's about, he's got a family, too. He's got kids. He's got a pension he's got to watch out for. None of them good reasons, no just reasons, but I got to say, I could have seen that not happening, which always makes me wonder if that was the plan. If that was the plan. So, apparently there was no female officer present, no female, no female, you know. It would have been wise to call in then a female officer. Either what are they going to do? Leave while you wait for the female officer? There was many things he could have done other than grab her. Many things they could have done to come back another day with a better plan.
Yeah, come back with a plan.
Yeah.
Don't rip someone's clothes off.
Well, come back on both sides. Come back with a plan. The reason we have permits now is 4 or 5 years ago, on the anniversary of Cheryl Miller, my late wife's passing, we would always have a vigil here. And we were prevented from doing that one night by a state policeman who did not know the rules. And he got right up to that point where it's time to go. And I didn't have a plan. It's not like I'm afraid of being arrested. I just want to make it right. I want to do it right. So we acquiesced and left and got in touch with the state police. The Colonel Rick Fuentes, the head of the state police, issued an apology and worked to make it easier to get permits to where anybody can get a permit in 20 minutes or less if there's not already a permit in place. So basically, if that happened here, what they would have been doing would have been saying, all you got to do is get a permit. Stop what you're doing now. We've got it in place that you can get it right away. Now, maybe that wasn't the deal there, and it wasn't the deal here. But we chose to come fight another day, and here we are with a permit, and we get to say pretty much what we want. And you and especially Wayne and the others prove that every week. It is pretty much free speech. You don't swear because we're out in public, and it is going out over airwaves of sort, and there are children that come here. So, we play by some sort of rules.
Yeah, no, we got it out of our system last night, Tuesday night. Me and Wayne do a nightly show now.
Where at?
In Morris County at my studio.
Really?
And we do an R-rated show. And we get all our shock jock stuff out of the way. So now when we come here, it's all PG. It's all PG. It's all whitewashed for you.
PG-13, PG-17 and a half.
All our information is whitewashed for your
sugar-coated.
And sugar-coated.
Sugar's bad for you, though.
Oh, boy.
No more sugar coating.
No, we won't sugarcoat it today, though. I don't think we sugarcoated anything today, Jim.
No.
Not one thing.
It's not a lot of fun talking about what we talk about.
No.
It's not. I see it pain you. I see it physically and mentally pain you sometimes.
Yeah.
It doesn't come across necessarily. I think a lot of that would be because you are a patient and you're aware of other people's pain, and you seem to love family and children and people who take care of each other. And so when something like Jenny comes along and her fate is sitting on the governor's desk, I think it pains us both that she's being made to wait. And that her parents are being made to wait.
Especially kids.
And there's nothing anybody else can do. We can at least keep an eye on it and know when that day is coming. And between now and then, let's see if we can't do something to at least address the issue of whether or not he knows what he's going to do, or is this like running for president? No, I still don't know what I'm going to do. No, I've been thinking about it for 4 years. When I make up my mind, I'll let you know. You know what? That was okay when it was him running for president, and he wanted to lie about whether or not he knew what he was going to do, and whether or not he lied about he wanted to consult his family. He knew all along he was going to run for president, so I maintain that he also knows what he's going to do with that bill. He knows whether or not he's going to sign it, veto it, or not sign it, and it becomes law.
Do you think he knows he's making Jenny suffer by waiting?
How can he not?
Do you think he knows he's making Jenny not be educated by waiting?
I'm not sure if he knows that, because if he didn't listen to what we do or read stuff, he's got people around him.
Yeah.
And they triage what information he needs and what he needs to do, and they know what he wants and what he doesn't want to deal with, and they know that it would be better if this just go away quietly. And we don't let that happen as best as we can. If nothing else, we can be the eyes that come here every Thursday.
Well, we can't do any more. We're here every Thursday. We're here every time he comes to work. He would have to walk past us, and he has not come past us.
We've made, I think, one decision to do this a little differently this year. Last year we closed down the Thursday before Thanksgiving because it's November. It gets cold. It's really hard to do this, and it's hard to get people to come. Well, this year, this is actually the first planned full week declared podcast. It's not that you haven't had the podcast, it's been you coming to help the coalition's informational protest that we do every Thursday. And you thought, hey, I can come and do a podcast from there, and we've done everything we can to help make it happen, and here we are. But the people that would normally come to protest just aren't able to show up this year. And I'm really tired of making the case and beating the drum and pushing and prodding on Facebook and finding out why everybody can't come. I know there's reasons, but how many Thursdays this year? 34. And all we're asking is come one, plan one, take a vacation, find somebody to help out. We're going to be there one time. And if that's not going to happen and we have a small gathering, better that we do like we're doing today. We bring all the signs, we put them up, we're visible, we do the podcast. This is the event. So it's official, and it's official because I said so, that this is now a podcast that the coalition supports. I am no longer the organizer of this. I've turned that control over to you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, you didn't know?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm backing up slow, that's why.
Oh.
I'm backing up.
I wonder if everything's screwed up now.
No, I am your dedicated road crew. I will store this. I will break it down. I will, with help, and I will bring it home. I will bring it back the next week early, get it set up. I will set up for you. I will be here earlier than I was today. I'm your road crew. And
Jim, you're more than that, and I need to ask more.
No, you got a good road crew. I'll give you that.
I got to ask more of you, though. I need a producer. And you said something you said before really got me, because you offered your producer skills to me.
And I have no skills at all.
But just to sit on a computer and pop things up when needed, that's
we can't get a regular segmented program without a producer, meaning we can't have here's the
News.
Things people wonder this week. Here's the
Yeah.
comments that we got from last week.
Yes.
Here's the news section for this week, what's new and
Yeah.
what's moved. Kind of like we have the monthly coalition meeting. We go through all that stuff, but it's with us in the room. What we need to do is bring that to other people.
Yes.
So that somebody needs to be queuing up right now while we talk, and you're looking at me, and we're just having a conversation. Somebody else should be queuing up what they see is coming next.
Yes.
Storyboard it slightly.
Yes.
Have it up where all we got to do is say, do we have that Alan Gordon thing already? Yeah, the first one. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Right,
Play
this
it.
is what we need to
And
do.
then you raise your hand. You go.
All right, you do that because it's fun. Well, what do I want to do today? And you didn't do it for me.
I didn't- oh, what?
I
What?
wanted to start the podcast by going, okay, we're going live in 5, 4, 3. We're live here, Sativa.
Welcome
Yeah,
to.
right, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, but this is the first half of the season. 17 weeks down, 17 to go. I think if we up our game a little bit each week, we still have 17 weeks. We're going to be pretty good.
I think this is a winning team.
It is. We'll come back again next year. What I was bringing up before is the official run ends at 34 weeks the Thursday before Thanksgiving. Should you and I decide, let's do another Thursday even though it's December, we get to do it.
In December.
Or January.
I'll do it.
I come
You
with
know-
a snow shovel, we shovel a little snow, we set it up, you know.
You know I'll do it.
We come with gloves, but it's that important that occasionally there may be something to say where we both are okay with getting here and back. And it'll be a surprise show, and hopefully it'll surprise Governor walking by, because lately he hasn't come by us. And I don't know if it's because he's out of state or he's using the back door.
Ew, gross.
Yeah,
Oh.
gross either way.
He is a gross person, but that's all right.
Well,
He's horrible. He's a horrible, nasty person, man. When
you know why he should come on our podcast? Because President Obama went on somebody's podcast in their garage
Yeah.
with the posters and all that, and he did that. I don't see why the governor can't handle us. You know he can handle us.
He can handle us.
You've seen him on Ask the Governor, where he gets calls, and it's easier to handle when the producer there, who he has there's a producer, he can cut off the microphone to allow the governor to to answer the question. And then you don't have a reply. To come on our show, all he'd have to do would be to answer our questions, try to redirect. And what would you say would be the minimum time we should ask of him to grace our podcast at our table?
What would be the what?
The minimum amount of time we could do that. In other words, if it was negotiating, we said 1/2 an hour, and he said 1 minute, we'd say 25, he'd say 2. I'm saying that in 5 minutes.
5 minutes, we can convince him.
5 minutes, and because it doesn't sound like a long time.
We could convince
It's a
him.
long time.
We could, because if he listened to us and took our advice, he would win a presidency. Because all he has to do is flip-flop.
Yeah.
Flip-flop on marijuana. He'll win. He'll win.
Evolve.
Okay, evolve on marijuana, and you will win.
Yeah. He could. Well, he could once he uses his plausible deniability and say, in hindsight, they were correct as to the point that we should have talked with them earlier whether we planned on implementing any of their suggestions. We don't have a vote. We're not asking for a vote. We're asking for discussion before decisions are made so that our input is available. That would ruin his plausible deniability that he still has. So he would give that up by coming on the show. He wouldn't be able to say, I didn't know that, and now that I do, he could evolve on the issue.
What do you mean? He's going to say, you mean Jenny's waiting for me to sign this bill? Is that what he's going to say?
I
didn't know
he,
Jenny
I
was
could
waiting.
He could say, I'd already considered that, and no, I don't plan on taking the full 45 days. I'll have my decision by the end of the week. Whether he meant it or not, he could say that.
You mean there's a girl right now suffering because I didn't sign this bill?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a few weeks and I'll get to it. That's how it's going to go.
I can't say you're wrong.
I wish you would.
However, I can say that we need to make the best of attempts so it isn't a self-fulfilling prophecy that you say that, and I tend to agree with you, that if we let up on our efforts at all, we are enablers. We enable him to do that.
You ain't kidding. That's why we're here every week.
We are not enablers, that's why.
We're not enabling Governor Christie to get away with this. No way.
No, when children need a decision made that affects their very life, it's certainly not funny. And you know, it's like, I know it's a medical marijuana podcast out in front of the State House. It's kind of a joke, except for the fact that a little girl could die because of this. So I would say, at least when people smile passing by at our presence, they should understand at the other end of that smile is a little girl who needs help right away. But it's funny because it's the word marijuana. So good for you guys. Good to see you.
Mr. Miller, I'm going to go across the street and take my little break right now.
Nah, 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 Jimmy can't go. Go ahead, say it.
No, I won't do that.
Because you know I can.
But
it's always good to see you do that because you haven't medicated in, I'm guessing, about an hour and a half at least.
Yeah, I'm ready.
And as we all know, one of the drawbacks is when you inhale your medicine, it doesn't last as long, and you certainly have an obligation to your own body and your family to be as well as you can. I wouldn't think even if you didn't want to, you would have to go do that right now. So get out of here, go use your medicine legally, and I'm sure we'll find something going on over here. And there it is, directly across the street, perpendicular from here. You can stand there. Remember, no feet on the white bricks, all on the darker colored bricks. I'm going to call you out if you stand in the wrong place. So, of course, Lefty can hear me now, even though he's not wearing his headphones or doesn't have a microphone. And, yeah, what I was saying about him before, it goes for all of us. You almost have to make jokes to get by the fact that it's a serious situation. But if you didn't use the word marijuana and said that little girl's life is in jeopardy and that she's autistic, special needs, developmentally disabled, and she has medicine that works for her, but she's not allowed to use it in school. She doesn't have the same rights to an education that healthy children have. And we do have a state constitution. It says otherwise. And we have simple compassion that says otherwise. So while I haven't been a big fan of our legislature and how they've handled medical marijuana, certainly not a big fan of how the administration or the health department has handled it. As we discussed earlier, the legislature impressed me like they've never done before when they took action when they found out that a 16-year-old child is being taken out of school at noon just to have her medical marijuana in an oil form administered because she wasn't allowed to have it administered by a school nurse in the nurse's office, out of view of other children, with no obvious effect on her when she returns. It could have been so simple. But the school decided to say that this is against federal law, it's a Schedule I substance, and they thought erroneously that they could do that. Jenny's parents love her, and her father's a lawyer. And he went to court, and besides going to court, when the legislature found out about it, in 7 days they accomplished writing a bill. The legislature accomplished having both houses, the Assembly and the Senate, have it posted in the respective committees. Then it got brought up and discussed and voted on favorably in committee. And then it got a floor vote scheduled and voted and passed in the Assembly 53-3 against. Got a concurrent bill passed in the Senate. signed by Senate President Steve Sweeney, and put on the governor's desk in 7 days. And I'll tell you what, God had an easier time making the world in 7 days than getting a legislature to pass a law in 7 days and get it to the governor's desk. It was the best fast track of a necessary bill I'd ever seen. And now it's sitting on the governor's desk. So as fast as the legislature could take care of this, 7 days, 1 week, it now has been sitting on the governor's desk since late June. I don't know the exact date. But somewhere in mid-August, 45 days will be up, and the governor will either sign the bill and it will become law, he'll veto it and it will not become law, he'll conditionally veto it, find something he wants changed, send it back, or not sign it at all, in which case it will become law in the absence of his signature at 45 days. There's no reason that Governor Christie needs to wait 45 days to sign a bill he already knows what he's going to do about. He knows. He hasn't told anybody. The family doesn't know. The little girl doesn't know. But he does. My point is, if he's going to veto the bill, I guess in his mind, delaying as long as possible would be the political move to make, but it's not. He's causing harm to a 16-year-old girl by not dealing with the bill until the 45 days is up. There's no excuse for that. He knows what he's going to do. He doesn't want the next step to happen, so he's going to delay it. He hasn't made any public statement about post-traumatic stress bill that would add that as an indication, brought about by the suicide rate of United States military veterans who are committing suicide at a rate higher than the civilian population. 22 a day, every 80 minutes or so. So there's a bill slowly winding its way through the Senate that's passed in the Assembly that would allow veterans and anybody with post-traumatic stress to become a medical marijuana patient in New Jersey. In the time that the legislature is taking, far longer than a week, to get this bill to the governor's desk, there are military veterans in New Jersey who have committed suicide in that time that did not have the legal option to use cannabis. Delay kills. When it's about health, all action should be taken as quick as possible and everything should be on the table. So with everything being on the table, that means discussion should follow. In any point of contention, when there are two different points of view and one side demands discussion and the other side runs from it, one side has the courage of their conviction and says, let's talk publicly, and the other refuses to even reply. You don't need to know what the subject matter is to know who has the courage or their convictions, the ones that are willing to get up and try to facilitate a discussion every Thursday between 11 and 2 at the States of the State House, or a governor who doesn't come in the front door on Thursday anymore. Last year in 20 gatherings, the governor came by 5 times. He walked by cones that we put out. Maybe it's time to bring the cones back. Hey, across the street, what do you think? Is it time to bring the cones back? Okay, they either can't hear me across the street